This first one is going to be a charcoal demo, which I want to simplify this. I want to make this a little bit easier for all of us. And so I'm going to limit the amount of, or the number of objects that we're using in our still life, and just keep some really basic ones. I'm thinking something that is natural and something that's organic, with some real basic shapes so that we can really explore this possibilities with charcoal here. So over here is the setup that I have, and pardon the camera work. So there is some of the couple of the objects that I'm going to draw, and you know, I might change this as I'm looking at it. I think I'm going to put a piece of paper underneath this so that we're maximizing our charcoal. But one of the things that I'm doing is I'm using one organic item. This is an acorn squash, and I kind of like the shape of it. The size of it is also works really well with this because they're similar in size. This is a gravy boat standard, but you can see that these have very different surfaces to them. Of course, one's darker and one's lighter, and so I'm gonna go in and draw these, and I'm gonna break it up. I'm gonna go into some information about how we're gonna do this. I might arrange this setup a little bit differently, but this is where I'm going to start. The other thing I want to point out, I've got one light source. This is my window over here. That's my window looking out onto the street. The light's going to change. It's going to move. It's going to move this way throughout the day, and I want to get it fairly quick and fairly soon. It's still kind of morning, a little later in the morning, but this is about the light and shadow that I want to have. Again, I'm trying to simplify this setup as much as possible. If you've got a single light source coming from one side, that can also be beneficial because then you're not going to have the light changing on you as you're drawing. So I'm going to get this going right now, but this is my first video. It's 2 minutes or just under 3 minutes long, and wow, I think this is going to be really good. So I want to simplify our drawings for the next couple of them. Okay, you guys, I'm back. And now that I've got everything set up, I've got my 11 by 14 inch drawing paper down here, and I've got my still life setup over there. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the paper first. So this is called a reductive method. This is reductive drawing. So I'm going to get everything in here first. So that means I'm going to cover my paper just to have something on here. This is something for me to go on. So I'm not going to, oops, I dropped my charcoal. So I'm going to get this basically on here like this, covering the whole thing. I'm not even going to smudge it at this point because I want to still be able to move stuff around. And at this point now, I'm going to go back into these things that we were doing in class. This is, remember, so we're measuring and we're sighting, and we're aligning. So these are the three things that we want to keep in mind as I get this drawing going. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this right now, and I'm going to start moving on and get a little bit, because I can't hold the camera and do the drawing at the same time. So I'm going to get going, and then I'm going to come back in just a few seconds. Okay, you guys, I'm back, and just a minute, just so that you get the full effect with the with everything. Well, I can't show you the way. Okay, so here we go. I've got my I was measuring these. I was blocking everything in. I got just basic idea of where everything was going to go in there. So I was measuring everything, get the correct sizes, and I'm pretty good with it. There are some corrections that I still want to make with it. You know, I can see some things like a little funky right now, but I've got the main things in there and in place. I'm looking at the negative space in there and measuring that against this. I'm looking to see where everything is aligning up in there, and I've got these basic and general shapes. So now I'm going to start working into this. I started with my with Vine charcoal. So this is the vine charcoal, and you can see that when you're using this, you can use it on its side like this, and just to get some real basic and general things. It's really good for that, but it's not good. It's not a very precise drawing tool. It's kind of crude, as a matter of fact. But this is going to get me going so that I can get started on this. And I'm going to start my drawing. I'm going to start shading things in first. So I'm going to be looking for these basic values, the gray of that versus the grays that are sitting in here, the gray that's in there, and then the contrast of the black that's going around here. And then again, I've got one light source coming from the window over here, and you can see I've got the light over on there. So I'm going to start just working on this very basic and general stuff right now, okay? So I'm going to take a